morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Where's that man? There is a word this morning. I just want to thank God thank you, brother, that I don't know, Father's Day is often special. Every day is Father's Day to me. I think, I just thank God for being recognized. I mean, all the great fathers here at St. Philip, I mean, and the goddads too, just the deacons, I mean, everybody has had a hand in my family, so to speak, my kids. I mean, you know, I mean, just great godparents. I mean, I'm not gonna start calling names because I'll forget somebody. Because they got all kinds of godparents. I mean, I ain't never seen them. They got a lot of godparents. All right. But those that are here, I mean, I know what they have done and the times they stepped in, and I just thank God for that. I mean, I was away coaching for a little while, and I mean, I know what took place, and I appreciate it so much. It means a lot to me. But the Lord laid a little something on my heart. I mean, my profession, being in the struggle dealing with adult mental health, I talk to my individuals quite a bit, and they're going through crisis. They're going through a crisis. They have a diagnosis. We all got a diagnosis. I say that all the time. I don't look at them no different. And I mean, I've been talked to by them folks, social workers, and that you might need to tell them, you need to mind your business and do it, because I got this. I don't talk over the head because I mean, I'm not all that, but the fact, I was talking to Reverend Bubba yesterday, I mean, but you know, these individuals come from all walks of life. I've had doctors to sit in my classrooms, professional athletes, that, you know, just the things that guide them to where they are. So I never think that I'm talking over somebody said or whatever. I put things in the proper perspective and so they can get what I'm talking about, so to speak. But again, I've been thinking about this, and I'm gonna come from God's man of influence in just a few, but I won't be long, Pastor. I know you probably got your card over there. Yeah, it's all good, I can sit down. But you know, like I said, I do my due diligence every morning. I mean, I'm always researching some things on the internet. I believe in preparation. I mean, I go to work thinking about the 5 P's always, girls. You know, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So when you get in the classroom, you know what's going on. You know what you're delivering. Because like I said, you don't know who you're dealing with. A lot of those individuals are, I mean, just going through a crisis. Going through a crisis, and it's real talk. So, you know, but I prepare myself daily. But real quick, let me get started. And I found something a while back. It says, what is a real father? And it says a real father not only takes care of his children financially, but he sacrifices his time by spending quality time with his children. Being a good role model by his actions and not words alone. He shows his son how to be a man, and his daughters how a man is supposed to treat a woman. That's what I think about quite a bit. My daughters look at me. They look at the way, you know, Nadine and I interact. Ain't nothing perfect. You know, I might get on her nerves a lot, but it's all good. You know, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Yeah, but you know, a real father, he has good character and respectable morals. He lets his children know that he is not perfect, and he encourages them to learn from his mistakes. He teaches his kids to fear the Lord, but at the same time reassuring them of his grace and mercy. He does this because he knows his family is an investment. And I realize that, and I thank God that I know they're on borrowed time. And you know, he entrusted us, Nadine and I, as well as everybody else, you know, to do what we need to do here on earth. Amen. And I take that very serious. I take it very serious. get out what you expect, you know, and just because you're not really putting anything in. You know, that's something I found. And it says invest wisely. Invest wisely. All right, Pastor, now I'm gonna get to the meat of the conversation. Again, doing my research in regard, I came to Sister Sonia Johnson. I asked her to be on this program. Did I not? Yeah, they ain't nobody call me. I just went like a whole lot of them did. But anyway, God's a man of excellence. I mean, of influence, of excellence. I mean, I talk to my individuals because I deal with a lot of men, and I mean, regardless of what they're going through, I still try to lift them up each and every day, and I get something out of it. I learn from them. But more often sometimes they think about what we said, you know, and I'm writing it down. They might hear it again because I'm gonna use it. Ain't no shame in my hand. You learn from each and everybody. You know, that's what I feel. Excellence is the maximum exercise of one's gifts and abilities within the range of responsibilities given by God. It says this is very important, this definition. It said keep in mind that God is the one who determines the standard of excellence for all of us. The measure of excellence is unique for each one of us. God has given each of us different set of talents and abilities. And he expects you and I to be good stewards of those resources. It says you and I must live as a stewardship from God and an opportunity to fulfill his desires for our lives. It says, how can we do this? So what I'm gonna do right now, the word excellence, each letter, I'm gonna share a little something about it, and then I'm gonna sit down, Pastor. E says, I is the goal. A man of influence lives a focused life regardless of the distractions that come his way. He concentrates on the matters that have the greatest importance. He knows and accepts that he will not be able to do things, and certainly not all things well. So I mean, he's only one perfect being, guys. We all know that. I'm talking to everybody, but mostly my guys right here, the fathers, okay? So listen to me. X excels at finding solutions. Excels at finding solutions. A man of influence is creative. He always thinking, always finding answers and fresh solutions. He is flexible, innovative, and always is endeavors to find a way to make things work. So we got to do as fathers. Sometimes we just got to put it together. Y'all know that. We got to put it together. We got to make things happen. C, it says, curious about the future. A man of influence is a visionary. He is a forward thinker. He is a planner. He plans for the future in his personal life, in his business life, and ultimately, he has planned for his future life in eternity. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. I mean, I've been looking at this, and you know, Sister Sonia, I've changed this 3 or 4 times since we talked. Yeah, I have. But anyway, this caught my eye. But E stands for excited about change. A man of influence is flexible. He has a burning desire to know the truth, and he is flexible, willing to make changes in his life if they need to. And we got to do that. I mean, ain't nothing gonna just be perfectly laid out. You can have instructions. But sometimes we're gonna come to a point where we got to make changes. You know what I mean? And I got girls, you know, and there's all kinds of changes going on with them sometimes. I'm just speaking for myself, man. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, you know what I'm saying? But it's been good. I adapt, I overcome, I deal with it as it comes. I'm gonna deal with no jungle, you know what I'm saying? And I've been so fortunate and so blessed, I mean, that my girls have had good friends, good guy friends. And, you know, I ain't always been what I am now. I ain't what I used to be, and I thank God for it, you know? Okay. Woo! I ain't about no junk. Jazz used to tell Jada before, let's see, when Jazz, she told Jada one time, she don't probably remember, I heard, don't tell Daddy everything. One thing about me, so I can understand, is 75.3 miles from my door. I roll up on them. And I'll be at Washington Hall, right there when they come out of Down Hall. What's up? But L is learns from everyone, just like I was saying just a minute ago, dealing with my individuals or whatever. I learn from them each and every day. And I love when they're stabilized, on the medication or whatever, because you'd be surprised. Like that doctor I had one time, she was already, baby, sit down. Yes, ma'am. She was happy. She was an AU professor. But we go through changes, you know what I mean? And we always, I hear, thank you for being in our right mind, but you just don't know. And this woman was heavy. She was heavier than some of those little young social workers or counselors out there. But I listened to her, regardless of my position. And you know when she discharged and told me, she said, thank you, baby, for just thank you. Because she was saying, just being, you never looked down on me. That means a lot, man. That was my focus, and that was my plan. As when I became an instructor, you can't look, you don't know what you're dealing with. And like I said, when I got to know that young lady, she was a professor, that's deep. Wow. L, learn from everyone. A man of influence has a passion for learning, unquenchable thirst for growing. He's willing to seek out anyone who can, help and quench his thirst. He prepares himself, I was talking about the 5 P's. He prepares himself for any task by researching, reading, and training. It says a man with a spirit of learning will encounter no hurdle he cannot overcome. I tell my individuals all the time, it's a situation you're going through, it's a bump in the road, the crisis, it's obstacles you got to go over, it's a detour, it's a roadblock, whatever it is, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. L loves to take risks. A man of influence is not a fool, but he is also not afraid to take risks. He simply would not settle for security and comfort. And he is willing to break with convention if he believes that to be the will of God for his life. Okay. Like I said, I'm still a work in progress, and I'm studying and looking and trying, and I'm getting it. I'm not quite there yet, Rev, but I'm getting it, okay? E stands for endure opposition. It says a man of influence is willing to endure pain, suffering, persecution in order to accomplish God's demands in his life. He will persevere through all obstacles and opposition. And one thing I like about this one, it says adversity builds character, perspective, and vision into the life of the leader. I believe that so much. N says names failure a learning experience. A man of influence has resilience, and that's with a capital R. He is able to bounce back after what seems to be major failures. He uses his failures as a learning experience. Every step is a step forward, and no defeat is final. I heard something one day on my way to work. Delay is not denial. And I put that on paper. And I gave all my individuals. I printed it out and made it big. Delay is not denial. Because you don't get what you want right now. Your time is not God's time. In time, things happen and you'll be surprised. You shouldn't be if you trust God and have that faith. Because when it happens, it's going to happen. But delay is not denial. Oh man, almost done, folks. It says C. It says convinced of what he is doing. A man of influence has conviction. Anything he believes to be the will of God is entered into with the full force of his being. Therefore, he can endure great difficulty and adversity in the course of completing the task. It says his confidence is not in his own ability, but in God's ability to work through his limited ability. Nobody's perfect but the man. And he gives us what we need to get there. And I'm gonna tell you, when I was coaching, and a lot of times, and I'm head coach and I made decisions and it didn't agree with the team, so be it. I would have to give an account. But then again, it's me. You know, I've done my due diligence. I studied the opposing team or whatever. So, you know, I go at it full speed. If I fall, I'm gonna brush myself off and get back up and do it again, so to speak. But you know, I can tell my sisters, that about you pay the big bucks. Y'all chill. Like I had one to challenge me. You know what I mean? Good brother, but got on my last nerve. All right. The last one is E, envisions a higher purpose. A man of influence has a sense of God's calling on his life. Whether he is a minister, missionary, a mason, or meter reader, he does his work as though doing it for the Lord. Whatever you do it wholeheartedly. That's right. I mean, seriously. I mean, regardless of what you do, what you are. You know. A title don't define you. Never have. Never have. We got some folks out at my job, and I'm just talking because, like I said, I take this back to my job to talk about, you know, because they got the DR in front of their name, they can walk in my classroom and want to see. I can't deny them to see any individual, but what you gonna do is, hey, Coach, you got I want this right here. And that's what I mean. But seriously, you know what I mean? But they get, I'm Dr. So-and-so, I'm Coach Dave. You know? But I'm gonna leave you with this, brothers. Excellence. Don't leave home without it. Endeavor by God's grace to live each day to the fullest, to live each day to the maximum, to live each day with excellence. And a famous Hall of Fame coach, Vince Lombardi with the Green Bay Packers, said, quality of your life will be determined by the depth of your commitment to excellence, no matter what your chosen field is. So I say to all the fathers, I mean, hey, I'm proud to be affiliated, associated, and like I said, I mean, all the fathers have had some hand in assisting my wife and I with our daughters. And I'm so proud to be a father, so proud just to be, I don't know, it's just a blessing because I mean, like I said earlier, you know, they're an investment, they're on borrowed time. And I mean, I do what I do. And everybody, man, you didn't want to get a son, man, look at mind your business. You know, but anyway, what that got to do with anything? I mean, you know, they look at me, you play ball, you want something, you know, hey, he gave me what I needed, and I thank God for it. So I appreciate you. I'm good. Thank you guys for listening.